That one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together.
And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. Now, each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I know you're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, yes, sir, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed earth will rise again. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Yes, sir. Because no lie can live forever. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Because you shall reap what you sow. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yes, that scaffold sways the future. Yes. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long. Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Yes, how long? Not long. Not long. Because mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Yes, he's trampling out the village where the grapes of wrath are stored. Yes, sir. He's loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. Yes, his truth is marching on. Yes, sir. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet, Our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
And the world will never rise to its full moral or political or even social maturity until racism is totally eradicated. And racism is exactly what it says. It is a myth of the inferior race. It is a notion that a particular race is worthless and degraded innately. And the tragedy of racism is that it is based not on an empirical generalization, but on an ontological affirmation. It is the idea that the very being of a people is inferior. Well, it may be true that morality cannot be legislated, but behavior can be regulated. It may be true that the law cannot change the heart, but it can restrain the heartless. It may be true that the law can't make a man love me, but it can restrain him from lynching me. And I think that is pretty important also. And so while the law may not change the hearts of men, it does change the habits of men if it's vigorously enforced.
Well, I don't think of love as, in this context, as emotional bosh. I don't think of it as a weak force. But I think of love as something strong and that organizes itself into powerful direct action. Now, this is what I tried to teach in the struggle in the South, that we are not engaged in a struggle that means we sit down and do nothing. That there's a great deal of difference between non-resistance to evil and non-violent resistance. Non-resistance leaves you in a state of stagnant passivity and deadened complacency, wherein non-violent resistance means that you do resist in a very strong and determined manner. And I think some of the criticisms of nonviolence, or some of the critics, fail to realize that we are talking about something very strong.
Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. For some strange reason, I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be, and you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be.
Alan Lowe, General Manager, and here's Reverend King.
No matter how much he closes the Capitol, no matter how much he tries not to see us, he will inevitably see us. He may not talk with us, but he will see us. He has already seen us. Our actions and the kind of communication that no man can overlook. And I think that witness itself will communicate and articulate in a real sense our deep longings and aspirations for freedom.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon O'Toller, and on behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Omega, and Lambda Gamma chapters, welcome to MLK, Making Leaders Known, a celebration of everyday heroes. We can all agree that 2020 was a trying year, but when the pandemic forced the world to slow down, our senses were heightened. Together, we smelled the burning embers of the California wildfires. We tasted the bitterness of a president who refused to admit defeat. We heard the cry of George Floyd pleading, "Mama, I can't breathe." We felt the pain of so many families who lost loved ones. And in the news and social media, we saw people come together to commit acts of COVID kindness for one another. During this Making Leaders Known award ceremony, you will be introduced to leaders among us who have committed such acts of kindness. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love." You, the Wilmington community, have recognized 19 individuals who have the hearts full of grace and souls generated by love, of which Dr. King spoke. You, the Wilmington community, relied on your heightened sense of sight to identify ordinary people committing extraordinary acts, and you nominated them for this MLK Award. While all finalists are leaders, 6 will emerge as award recipients in the following categories: essential worker, educator or mentor, first responder, family provider, community helper, and outstanding student. During his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, Dr. King said, "Most of these people will never make the headline, and their names will not appear in Who's Who. Yet, when years have rolled past, and when the blazing light of truth is focused on this marvelous age in which we live, men and women will know, and children will be taught that we have a finer land, a better people, a more noble civilization, because these humble children of God were willing to suffer for righteousness' sake." Today, Zeta Omega and Lambda Gamma will make leaders known by celebrating everyday heroes who are ushering the Wilmington community through the pandemic. Our mistress of ceremonies for the evening has an established career with over 25 years of radio broadcasting experience. She is an author of 2 successful books, a lecturer, a businesswoman, and a proud graduate of Morgan State University. You can catch her on WDAS FM 105.3 weekdays from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And now, with great pleasure, I introduce the host of Philadelphia's legendary WDAS FM's Afternoon Drive with the talk of the town, my sorority sister and fellow chapter member, Miss Frankie Darcell.
Thank you so much, Sora Sharon. I am so excited on this evening, on this day, at this time, to be asked to serve as Mistress of Ceremony for this MLK Day as we recognize heroes. What a wonderful day it is. What a wonderful time it is to be from Delaware, as on Wednesday, President-elect Biden and our soror, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, right there out of Delaware. Wow, how amazing this is going to be. And as we move forward tonight, we want to make sure that you engage what we're doing. Make sure that you engage through the chat feature and let us know how you're doing tonight as we celebrate those heroes right here in our community. It's my honor and privilege to introduce to you Dr. Phyllis Mobley, who is an optometrist practicing in Wilmington, Delaware, although a proud native of Annapolis, Maryland. Dr. Chambers has lived most of her adult life in Wilmington, Delaware. She attended, of course, and we're so proud, to be a graduate of Morgan State University, where she received her Bachelor of Science degree. She continued her education at Solace University, Pennsylvania College of Optometry, where she received her BS degree and doctorate and optometry degree. Dr. Chambers was the first African-American female optometrist in Delaware. Presently, Dr. Chambers is the president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Zeta Omega chapter. Dr. Chalmers is married to James Mobley and has 3 grown children and 1 grandchild. So please help us virtually welcome Dr. Phyllis Chambers Mobley. All right, so this is what we're going to do, and I believe that I am still live. As we have embraced this new community that we're in, as we are virtual, and as we move forward with this evening's program, we're gonna make sure that you get all the information that you need as we celebrate just the great work. And here we go. Again, please welcome Dr. Phyllis Chambers Mobley.
Hello, thank you. Thank you so much, Frankie. I really appreciate that wonderful, wonderful introduction. And I'm sorry for the delay, but that is the virtual world that we live in. And so I want to say good evening and welcome to Making Leaders Known, a celebration of everyday heroes. I am Dr. Phyllis Chambers Mobley, president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Omega chapter located in Wilmington, Delaware. 113 years ago, 16 unknown sheroes had a vision to bring together like-minded women to promote scholastic excellence, sisterhood, and to uphold their motto of service to all mankind. Their vision evolved into the first Greek-lettered organization for African-American women. Alpha Kappa Alpha is an international organization of over 1,000 chapters, 300,000 women, and provides service under the international platform exemplifying excellence through sustainable service. Alpha Kappa Alpha has a history of service to all mankind. And at this time, we are honored to celebrate our member, as Sora Frankie said, Kamala Harris, as she becomes the first woman of color to be Vice President of the United States. We're so proud. For 99 years, the Zeta Omega chapter has continued this tradition of service to all mankind. This year, Zeta Omega and our members from Lambda Gamma, which is the undergraduate chapter at the University of Delaware, wanted to give back to the community by highlighting the random acts of kindness and service that our community and citizens were doing in Wilmington. We have lived through this pandemic for almost a year. Our lives have been altered, our interactions have been halted, jobs have been lost, families have struggled, emotional wellness has been challenged, and our community, in fact, has been overwhelmed. As many citizens retreated, bunkered down, and quarantined, some members of our community noticed that many people were not able to provide for their families, and they could not provide the basic essentials, such as food, housing, healthcare, and assistance with education. In the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr.'s life of service, our nominees saw a need and answered the call to aid their fellow man and to usher the citizens of Wilmington through the pandemic. Tonight, we salute these extraordinary individuals. We celebrate the character of a person that exemplifies excellence and allows them to show unselfishness, love, fortitude, and a servant's heart for their fellow man. A program celebrating Martin Luther King would not be complete without a quote from one of the greatest orators ever. Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope, only in the darkness can you see the stars. Our celebrants this evening were the light of hope for so many in Wilmington. So on behalf of the president of Lambda Gamma, Christian Asiadu, the members of Zeta Omega, and the members of Lambda Gamma. Please join us as we present Making Heroes Known, celebrating our everyday heroes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mobley. You know, it's been said once, service is the price you pay for the space that you occupy. Service is so important, as we say in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, service to all mankind. It is my honor to introduce the Honorable Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long. Her commitment to make Delaware stronger and the initiative healthier, the Lieutenant Governor is long recognized for her leadership and uses skills to bring people together, build consensus throughout the community, and to help find a common sense solutions for real issues facing Delaware. During her years in the legislature and as Lieutenant Governor, the Lieutenant Governor saw the devastating effects of COVID-19 and what it has had on the community in which we live. During her years in the legislature and as Lieutenant Governor, she saw all of this happen to the people of Delaware. And as a nurse, Lieutenant Governor, and professor, she has worked to improve health outcomes for most of the vulnerable Delawareans, combating addiction, facing cancer and health inequities, and creating a stronger behavioral health system, and has focused on public service. In 2012 to 2017, she, as a member of the Delaware legislature, first as a representative, then as a senator. She has been a tireless advocate for health and wellness for the entire state her entire life. Please welcome, from the great state of Delaware, the Honorable Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Frankie. I was honored to wear my AKA colors this evening for you, and my face is blushing. You didn't need to read all that, but it is a privilege to be here with you and Dr. Mobley and the wonderful leaders of the AKA and those who are listening in. But most importantly, I am so honored to be here on MLK, honoring Martin Luther King on his day. And the videos you played were heart-touching, particularly during these times. And it is moving to be among stars of Delaware that you are honoring this evening. But first, a real, genuine, heartfelt thank you to our incredible Zeta Omega and Lambda Gamma chapters of the fine AKA for taking this time to really recognize those who often are the quiet, silent champions and our earth angels that often aren't celebrated. I know you must have had a difficult time going from your 19 honorees down to those you selected, but I have to say, it's these small kindness acts during this time of the pandemic. We have seen a lot of hope. There's been a lot of turmoil and dismay, but it's the little things, whether we're wearing our mask and helping one another in the front lines, whether as our educators and our students, our frontline community workers, our first responders that you're going to honor this evening. It is about those simple things that give us hope about the kindness and the great acts that really do make a huge difference. And so a heartfelt thank you for me to the recipients who are being honored this evening. On behalf of Delaware, thank you for making us stronger and healthier. But really most important for, I think, emulating what Martin Luther King wants of each of us and having that voice and stepping out sometimes in a quiet, indirect way at work or advocacy. Because again, as he stated, our lives begin to end the day that we are silent. And so you haven't been silent. I want to praise you for your work, for your advocacy, for really representing what we see best and brightest in our community and in our state and our nation. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. I'm going to be cheering you on and clapping. And again, thank you so much to all of you for what you do every day. My office is always open, and I am here to assist you. I know you're going to continue and do even more in time. So thank you again. I'll turn this back to your awesome MC. I'll turn this back to Frankie. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor. You know, and clearly to have the Lieutenant Governor join Zeta Omega for this incredible event speaks volumes to the work and the consistent work that Zeta Omega has done in the Wilmington community and the greater area. So we're so excited to have the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Delaware to join us for this event. So please, you are so welcome, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you. And please keep the texts coming. Make sure that you engage. I know that there are some other organizations and people who are watching. We'd love to say hello to you as we continue with the celebration. So please feel free to continue to chat as we move forward. And as we talk about those incredible leaders within the community that have joined us for this wonderful, wonderful event, it is my honor to introduce Tina Betts, Director of Cultural Arts, the City of Wilmington, on behalf of the Honorable Mayor Michael Pezecki. She is the Director of Cultural Affairs for the City of Wilmington. Tina is known for her leadership, coordinating events and arts projects such as the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival, the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Celebration, Wilmington's Independence Day celebration, and Art on the Town. Tina performs frequently, and of course, with that kind of resume, of course, she would be a singer and an ensemble and a soloist. She has served on the boards of many nonprofits, organizations, as well as grant application renew panels, as well for the National Endowment of the Arts. She earned her Bachelor of Liberal Arts degree from Boston University and studied pre-law at the Merrimack College in North Dover, Massachusetts. Please welcome and show some virtual love to our next guest, Tina Betts. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Mayor Mike Pezecki sends his regrets that he is unable to be here this evening. However, I am really grateful for the opportunity to be here for this first annual Martin Luther King Day event on behalf of the mayor. It is my honor to express Mayor Mike's and my heartfelt thanks and admiration to all of this evening's Everyday Heroes nominees. Martin Luther King Jr., perhaps best known for his dream for America, which was expressed so eloquently on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in 1963, was a flawed human being, as we all are. He remains a hero nonetheless, and worthy of emulating despite his shortcomings. Dr. King had a profound understanding of the social problems of his day, and he maintained a commitment to nonviolence as a means to bringing about the necessary social change. It is only right then that we honor Dr. King's memory through service and keep his dream alive by helping others. Through our service, we celebrate the very best of Dr. King and all he fought for. Through our service, we hold Dr. King up as an example of what ordinary people are capable of when given the opportunity. 2020 was, without question, the single most difficult year than any of us has had to endure. And we are not out of the woods yet, despite having turned the page on our calendar. But just as Dr. King stood up to meet the vile racism and violence of the 1950s and 60s head on, the COVID-19 pandemic has seen so many everyday heroes rise to answer the call to aid and to serve. The late Fred Rogers spoke of the advice his mother would give him when times were tough: to look for the helpers. The everyday heroes we honor here tonight are our helpers. You inspire us to reach greater heights through your simple, ordinary acts of kindness, courage, and love. You are our living example of everything that we can aspire to be. Whether you have been on the front lines of this deadly pandemic as a medical professional or other first responder, or suddenly found yourself classified as an essential worker, or applied your unique talents or skills to meet a heretofore unknown need. You gave us all hope that humankind will come through this horrible experience even better and stronger than before. And for that, we are extremely grateful. Thanks to all of you.
Tina, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And please send the mayor our absolute thanks as well for the great work that he's doing here in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Thank you so much. Let me take an opportunity and continue to tell you to keep chatting. We appreciate that. Let me say hello to all of the Howard University Bisons that are watching and joining us. Each of you in the community that is continuing to engage for this wonderful event and waiting to see these great people that we're going to honor this evening. Let me also acknowledge a number of members who are joining us as well from Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, who are also chatting with us. Thank you so much. And also Reverend Cortez Riley. We appreciate you all for joining us for this wonderful event. It is my honor now to introduce to you Senator Thomas R. Caper, the senior senator from Delaware. He served 5 years as a naval flight officer, served 3 tours of duty in Southwest Asia during the Vietnam War, and continued to serve the Naval Reserve as PS-3 aircraft. During his 40 years of public service, Senator Carper has worked tirelessly to develop practical solutions and real problems. Senator Carper is the ranking member of the Environment and Public Works Committee and served as a member of the Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs and the Finance Committee. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Senator Tom Carper.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Carper, Senator for State of Delaware, retired Navy captain, Vietnam veteran. You don't have to serve in the United States Senate or be governor. You don't have to be in the military in a uniform in order to serve our fellow man and woman. And Martin Luther King was all about service. And what are we doing for other people? He asked the question, what do you have to do to be great? And the answer for him was a simple one: serve other people, help other people. It's also the really a source of joy for my life, and I think for the lives of millions of people who do that. We have people who stepped up during this pandemic and are serving us in extraordinary ways. There are doctors and nurses. There are people that are collecting the trash here today in our neighborhood. There are people that prepare our food and take care of our grandparents in nursing homes across this country. It's a hard job. They have a hard job, but they do it. And they do it, and it provides, while it's not easy, it provides for them satisfaction and joy. And I would just urge you, as you go through your life, to look for ways to serve, to help other people make a difference in their lives. Because in doing that, you'll not only make them happy, but you'll provide great joy for yourself. So good luck in memory of Dr. Martin Luther King. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Senator. We do appreciate his video presentation and joining us for this evening. And from one senator to another, Senator Chris Coons was elected to the United States Senate in 2010, following terms as Newcastle County Council President and Newcastle County Executive. In the Senate, he sits on the Appropriations, Judiciary, Foreign Relations, Small Business, and Entrepreneurship and Ethics Committees. The senator graduated from Amherst College with a BA in Chemistry and Political Science and earned a law degree from Yale Law School and a master's in ethics from Yale Divinity School. A longtime county resident, the senator lives in Wilmington with his wife, Annie, and his 3 children, Michael, Jack, and Maggie. Please enjoy this message from the Honorable Senator Christopher A. Coons.
Happy Martin Luther King Day. I'm Senator Chris Coons. I want to thank the President and Vice President, Dr. Phyllis Chambers Mobley and Sharice Johnson for inviting me to join you this evening. And I'm delighted we're together in honoring Dr. King and the heroes here in our home state that helped to keep his dream alive. As we all know, Dr. King believed in a better America, an America based on justice, inclusion, community, opportunity, and equality for everyone. And he chose to fight for these principles, to have hope in our future, even at a time when our nation was still deep within its centuries-long tradition of white supremacy and racial oppression. Just this month, we saw big steps forward when there was an historic election of Reverend Raphael Warnock, the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church where Dr. King preached, and who will now soon be sworn in to join me in the Senate. We saw my good friend and fierce advocate Stacey Abrams on the front lines in Georgia, fighting for those same principles Dr. King dedicated his life to advancing. And here in Delaware, we see you, community members and activists, serve in the most challenging of times. Every student you help complete a college admission application, every woman you help receive a mammogram, each pair of shoes or article of clothing you donate to a person in need demonstrates your commitment to making Dr. King's spirit live within our community. Dr. King famously said many times that the arc of the moral universe is long, but bends towards justice. So we all know it only bends if we put our hearts and our hands to that work. It's because of your hands and your work that we are moving closer and closer to a nation worthy of Dr. King's vision. So let's advance his dream and continue to believe in the possibility of progress, even when it's difficult. Your work is making the way easier for so many in our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Coons. We appreciate you and the time that you're spending with us this evening. Let me also acknowledge each of you that are joining us for this wonderful event. And I want to acknowledge as well those who have continued to chat throughout the event, the women of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. We thank you for joining us on this evening. It is our honor right now to present to you the great work and why we're here this evening. To all of those in the community that have submitted their videos, you'll get an opportunity to meet them now. I want you to take a moment and watch the great work, get to meet these people behind the scenes. And of course, on the other side of this video, you'll get to see who will be selected. Everyone just did an amazing job. So of course, as it was mentioned earlier by the Lieutenant Governor, that the submissions were amazing. But please take an opportunity and meet each of those who took the time and put their creative work in this event. So please enjoy. Listen, and we want to take an opportunity and thank everyone once again for watching. Of course, the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, all of our stakeholders that are watching as well, all the members of the D9, and of course, those within the community and supporting all of the nominees. Keep those messages coming. We want to say hello to Sora Javette, who is watching as well, Rocky Brown, and others. And of course, all of the nominees who are watching, this is your opportunity, if you are family and friends, to say hello and let them know how proud of them you are. And again, we want to recognize and congratulate all of the nominees. Now, we want to take an opportunity as well during the awards presentation in this next segment.
To quote Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The Making a Difference Award goes to an individual who has performed a significant one-time or ongoing act that has helped an individual or the community at large. The recipient in this category is the founder of a nonprofit organization just because. This organization's mission is providing love and support and everyday essentials to those in need. While many organizations ceased to operate during the pandemic, this recipient continues to host events that usher underprivileged individuals through various stages of life. These events, held monthly, assist the homeless population by providing meals, new and gently used clothing, and more. Over the Thanksgiving weekend, this recipient and her organization hosted their third annual Table in the Wilderness, where they prepared and served more than 100 individuals in the city of Wilmington. Most recently, on December 19th, she hosted Warmth from the Heart, where she provided new and gently used blankets, socks, hats, and gloves to the community members at Joe White Memorial Field in Wilmington. Although opportunities are scarce during this time, this recipient continues to service the community by ensuring the less fortunate are protected from the elements, have a warm meal to eat, and are provided with access to those everyday resources so many of us take for granted. When asked why she does it, her response is simply, "We're here to serve just because." Please join Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Zeta Omega chapter as we congratulate Adrienne Karn, recipient of the Making a Difference Award.
According to Dr. King, the purpose of education is to educate each one of us to think critically and to think intensively. Character plus intelligence, that's the objective of true education. The Dreammaker Award goes to the educator mentor who continue to work within the education system or with youth and/or young adults, despite the pandemic. The recipient in this category encourages her students to do just that. Think critically and intensively, helping them to build character along the way. This individual has been an inspiration to others during the pandemic by providing free, weekly, virtual STEM workshops to children in an effort to spark their curiosity through science. She is the founder of the Wilmington Urban STEM Initiative and typically provides these free hands-on events to girls throughout the year. At the onset of COVID-19, however, this recipient developed remote learning plans and quickly pivoted her platform to a virtual experience in order to keep children engaged, inspired, and occupied. Her primary target has been girls in the Wilmington area. However, now using a virtual platform, she has been able to reach a broader audience, including young boys. This recipient believes that introducing children at an early age to her educational STEM program has strongly increased their interest in science, technology, engineering, and math. At just 18 years of age, she already characterizes through her daily work Dr. King's meaning of the objective of true education. Please help us congratulate Jacqueline Means, recipient of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Omega Chapter's Dream Maker Award.
Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. These are the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The recipient of the Service to All Award conducted a range of operations and services that are necessary to continue critical infrastructural operation. He or she reported to work in person throughout the pandemic with no option to work remotely. Our essential worker is a selfless giver. Her greatness reveals itself through her commitment to the HIV/AIDS community, especially during the pandemic. She continues to assist the Beautiful Gate Outreach Center making sure that these individuals stay on track with their personal HIV/AIDS medications and testing. Also, she now administers COVID-19 testing for the Outreach Center's population. This recipient's commitment to educating this population has helped change their perception of COVID-19 and enhanced their understanding of how to prevent further spread through social distancing, wearing masks, and hand washing. Furthermore, she continues to gather and distribute PPE in an attempt to keep local residents safe. This essential worker is an asset to everyone she serves. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Omega Chapter, proudly recognizes Suzanne Tate as the recipient of its Service to All Award for her essential work in the Wilmington community.
Thank you to each of you once again for joining us. And more importantly, we want to acknowledge all of our winners, and we appreciate all of the congratulations and messages that are coming through, not only for the winners, but the nominees as well. It's my honor to introduce to you a young lady. All of the performers who will be on the program tonight are college students, so we want to show them some additional love for the work that they're doing. Our first performer is a senior at Marymount Manhattan College in New York City. She is majoring in dance with a concentration in ballet. Kendra Tate is looking to be amazing. She's already performed and appeared on Broadway in the musical Billy Elliot. Please welcome and show some virtual love to our first performer, Kendra Tate.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the leaves.
chapter.
The ultimate measure of a woman is not where she stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where she stands at times of challenge and controversy. Famously spoken by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., these words are most important as we reflect on the social, racial, gender, and health disparities climate we find ourselves. In this uncomfortable time of challenge and controversy, our Programming of Excellence Award goes to an outstanding student who has demonstrated a combination of leadership, advocacy, community volunteerism, or is an essential worker. The recipient of Lambda Gamma's award has committed her collegiate career to improving the experience of others. Not only has she organized and executed impactful and motivational programming, such dealing with stereotypes, but she advocates by making her voice heard and ensuring that conversations are had and those that would not normally speak have a forum to share their voice when it comes to difficult and uncomfortable issues. Our award recipient makes sure that everyone feels heard in every meeting and ensures that everyone knows that they are important and valued. She was intentional about executing programming that lifted the morale of members of the college community during this pandemic as a way to combat any threats to the mental wellness of her peers. We are especially pleased to share that our award recipient has also been serving as a frontline worker, being a medical scribe throughout this time, starting at an emergency department and continued her brave efforts at an urgent care. We celebrate how this student truly embodies and demonstrates daily her commitment to answering life's most persistent and urgent question: what are you doing for others? Please join Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Lambda Gamma Chapter, as we congratulate Belinda Caselli, recipient of the Programming of Excellence Award.
In the words of Dr. King, we must accept infinite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. The Infinite Hope Award goes to an individual who ensures the safety and well-being of one or more members of a family. While the pandemic has slowed many volunteers down because of safety concerns, it has not deterred our next awardee from fulfilling her commitment to feeding homeless families residing with the Family Promise program. During an entire week of each quarter of the year, this recipient seeks volunteers who help provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner for homeless families living in cottages under the auspices of the Family Promise program. As coordinator of this effort, she gathers essential information on the number of families in need, determines dietary concerns, and provides robust home-cooked meals for the families. Despite the pandemic, this recipient still ensures these families get meals and other donations such as paper towels, toilet paper, nitrile gloves, spray disinfectants, wipes, and other necessities. This nominee believes that each person in the program should be treated with dignity and respect. She uses the scripture, "Feed my sheep," as her guide as she executes the most tremendous initiative. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Omega Chapter presents Stella Ponzo as our recipient of the Infinite Hope Award.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stated, "We must build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear." The Heart of Courage Award goes to an individual designated or trained to go into the community to respond to emergencies. The recipient of this award works as a court-appointed special advocate, also known as CASA, for the Family Court of the state of Delaware. Appointed by a family court judge to advocate for the best interest of abused and neglected children in court proceedings, this honoree conducts independent investigations into the lives of children and provides information and recommendations to the judge. Her charge is to attain the goal of a safe and permanent home for each child she is assigned. As a CASA, this recipient must respond at a moment's notice when called upon to come to the aid of the children for whom she advocates. Although the impending pandemic mandates we all social distance ourselves and stay at home in order to be safe, this CASA still heeds the call of her court-appointed wards, making regular visits to them and providing recommendations to the court as required. Furthermore, she has taken an additional 6 young girls, ranging in age from toddler to teen, under her wing to help them and their mother manage the everyday trials of the pandemic. Most recently, she helped them to cook Christmas dinner, a first for the girls and their family. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Omega Chapter, proudly salutes Karen Ingram, recipient of our Heart of Courage Award.
I am so excited. Congratulations to, again, all of the nominees and to all of the winners. And of course, we thank you for joining us for this incredible recognition this evening. As we saw with our earlier performance with Kendra Tate, it is so amazing to support the young people in our community when they are doing exceptionally great things. Let me say this, it is an honor to introduce these talented, artistic young people that are performing. And I want to say as well, the next performer is Joshua Kaur, who is a senior at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical University in Greensboro, North Carolina. For those of us who are just above 25, that's North Carolina A&T, where he's doing amazing things and majoring in applied engineering. But let me just also add this, because of the call, Joshua not only learned this by ear, he did it in 18 hours. I want you to welcome Joshua Kaur, along with Stephanie Boateng. She is a senior at the University of Delaware. She is majoring in organizational and community leadership. Please welcome these 2 incredibly talented, awesome young people to our event. And just enjoy this performance.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I just want to take an opportunity and thank each and every one of you. There's so many things that each of us could be doing on this day as we celebrate the life, the legacy, and the service of the Honorable Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And as we recognize the just great works of all of the nominees, and again, congratulations to all of the winners. I can tell you, being just north of 50, getting accustomed to the new way that we do things, I just want to take an opportunity, as we have done this new way of doing things, like virally on Zoom, to President Soror Phyllis. Thank you so much for the invitation, and to the entire chapter. to serve as your mistress of ceremonies. Thank you so much, Sora Sharon. I absolutely love each of you to life. Thank you, Sora Melissa, as well. And I absolutely want to thank as well Vice President Sora Sharice Johnson for just her tireless work, texting me, emailing me, making sure that I had absolutely everything that I needed. And before I do go, let me also just congratulate the work that the young people who we just saw perform in the artistry and dance and music, just amazing. They are our future. When Dr. King talks about standing on the shoulders, they now stand on our shoulders, and we must do what we can as well to assure that they have the future even better than what we have. So it is my honor to introduce to you, I think, one of the baddest that's out there doing this viral thing. Please welcome Sora Sharice Johnson. Thank you so much, Madam Vice President.
Wow, thank you, Frankie. I appreciate that sentiment, and good evening to everyone. In closing, I first want to sincerely thank and congratulate not only our winners, but all of our finalists. Committed and selfless, uplifting and resourceful, caring and passionate, humble yet driven, are just a few of the characteristics Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. embodied that are reflected in the amazing contributions you have made to the greater Wilmington community. We thank our nominators for recognizing the significance of the efforts their everyday hero put forth. To our esteemed guest speakers, Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long, Ms. Tina Betts, representing the office of Mayor Michael Perzicki, and our United States Senators, Thomas R. Carper and Christopher A. Coons. We deeply appreciate your remarks, acknowledging the importance of service to one another, especially in these unprecedented times. And last but not least, thank you to all assembled. Tonight, our known leaders shared their personal messages of encouragement and hope. As we made leaders known by showcasing the good works performed by our honorees, we hope that everyone receives something special, something that resonated within, something inspirational to help energize and unite us in service as we forge ahead in 2021. Let us not forget that doing for others is the true reward. To quote Dr. King, those who are not looking for happiness are the most likely to find it, because those who are searching forget that the surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. Again, thank you for joining Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Omega, and Lambda Gamma chapters in celebration of our everyday heroes and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy of service. This concludes our program. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.